Welcome to my storage unit. So I acquired this just in the way that everyone does off of Facebook Marketplace. Someone listed that they had ceramic molds for free as long as you could either take over their unit or get a truck, and I could do one of those things. So I took over this unit and now I am the proud owner of thousands of ceramic molds. What does that mean? What does that look like? Let's take a look. This is thousands of ceramic molds that are all over 30 years old. When I first got this storage unit, after I opened it, I couldn't re-shut it because there was so much dirt and dust along the floor that the door could not come back down and it had to be cleaned. Most of these molds belong to a lady who owned a shop in this town over 30 years ago, and I think they got moved more than once and someone just threw them in. So we have the scariest pile of molds anyone's ever seen. It has avalanched on me more than once. So along with me on my journey is my husband. He's also my general contractor and my electrician, and so he had a few questions about my molds.
So what are you going to do with all of these?
So ceramic molds, they sell for like $30 to like $500 a piece. So we're gonna go through, and they're super disgusting, and we're gonna just clean them up. This one even has little mushrooms on it, which is such a cool thing. And we're gonna sell them. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
So what even are these?
They're molds. So you get like ceramic like clay, but like in liquid. And so this one has like a hole in the top. You just pour the clay in there and you let it harden a little bit, and then you pour out the extra and it'll create like a cast around the edge. And then you fire that in a kiln, and then you have a ceramic thing. Like this one has tree, so that one probably makes a tree. It's great.
Does that mean we're gonna need to get a kiln?
Well, I was just gonna sell them, but can we get a kiln?
If we can find a kiln, we can get a kiln.
Okay, now we have to find a kiln. Obviously, we have to find a kiln. We got a kiln. It is 1,000 years old. It doesn't have a lot of the fancy computer things that a lot of modern kilns do, but that's okay because it's my kiln and I got it. We do have a problem though. So I asked my electrician, aka the husband, what we need to run a fancy kiln like this, because silly me thinking, hey, in our garage we have an electrical panel, surely we should be able to plug it in. And he said
we need a 240 volt outlet,
which is like the fancy outlets you have for like your dryer. So I was like, all right, let's go to Home Depot, let's get a fancy outlet. Can we just, go buy one at Home Depot?
We need to make sure our panel can handle 240 volts to a new outlet.
Can our panel handle 240 volts to a new outlet?
The panel can, the wiring to the garage cannot.
How do we fix that?
We need to get some shovels and dig up the wiring to the garage.
Oh, that's all. That's all. So we have this giant trench in our backyard for the kiln, for the electrical. The kiln is plugged in to its fancy new outlet. I used some liquid clay, also known as slip, into this mold, which poured this whale. This whale is going into the kiln with some friends to see if it works. All right, it's the next day. The kiln is cool enough to touch and open, and our things are not broken, and it got to temperature, and our pieces are fired.